Hey, hey, good people. Welcome in for an edited repeat of Miss LeAnnyaa's Third Eye 13 with Dr. Aaron, but just the conversation this time. We sat to talk 7 months ago this week, but I posted the segment exactly a week before the inauguration. What a difference a half year makes. So, I affirm now our strength to make it through whatever these next 42 months brings. And so it is. Amen and Ashe. Enjoy.
So, Dr. Zina Aaron, DMD, thank you so much for being with me today, being with us today. The first thing that I would like to know is, can you explain the difference between a traditional dentist, holistic dentist, DDS versus DMD?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
First of all, though, thank you for having me, LeAnn. It's a pleasure. I am so grateful that we can have this chat because, this is piggybacking off of our in-person chat, which was like great. I still think about it. So, DMD is actually, this is based on which dental school you go to. Some of them give out the degree of DMD, which is Doctor of Medical Dentistry. Sort of, it's a Latin term, and DDS is Doctor of Dental Surgery. Again, it doesn't really, they're pretty much equal. It depends. I went to the Medical College of Georgia, finished in 2007, and that's just the degree that they hand out. So I think it might be split half and half, but it's still 4 years. It's still the same dental schools of, there's several schools throughout the country. So where the holistic part came into being for me was actually 10 years after practicing traditional dentistry. So I've been doing dentistry now about 16 total years. I've been practicing traditional dentistry, and I started looking into so somebody close to me, my husband, he's got a chronic disease, if you will, and we just, he's taken the medications, he's done the IVs, the steroids and stuff, and nothing has helped him. So we're like, okay, there's got to be something else. It can't just be all medicine. We don't get sick due to a lack of a medication in our body, right? So we started going more holistic, looking into the holistic route. And basically there's this belief in the holistic community that the body can heal if you give it the proper environment. It's this trust in your body that God created it in, for a certain purpose with certain mechanisms and all that stuff. Like, we're not diabetic because we don't have hormone in our body. We're diabetic because something else has gone wrong. And we need to try to right that ship, So anyways, I started looking into holistic because of his disease that wasn't barely even managed with modern day medications. So you start looking deeper, you're like, okay, there's got to be more to it. And then, of course, with dentistry itself, holistic dentistry is not a specialty, not at all. It's just a deeper understanding. It's just digging beyond what is being fed to you, what is being told to you is right. I'm not saying that traditional dentistry is wrong. It's just there are safer ways to do things for us as practitioners and for you guys as patients, which is our number one priority, right? To take care of patients, to do what's right by you guys. So yeah, I mean, basically, and I'm telling you, like, honestly, it's been I guess almost 7 years now I've been doing it, and I don't think I could practice in it. I know I cannot practice.
I got it. And I think even at breaking it down even more, I think a lot of people don't understand that holistic practice, medicine, dentistry, whatever, is all about the whole body system, the whole body system. And how one thing, and particularly our teeth, or the dental meridians, as I have come to understand them, basically the nerve paths from each of our teeth and how they move throughout our body system. And so I also should probably say I had a friend to tell me about the documentary Root Cause, and then that led me on a path to try to find one locally, and I found you. And the biggest thing that I took away from Root Cause is that a root canal is the only procedure in medicine or in dentistry that allows disease to stay in your body.
Similar. Would you like me to explain how it works? So yes, you're on the right track. It's so, you have a cavity, right? You wait, you don't feel it, whatever it may be. The cavity, the bacteria goes from the outside of the tooth, from the enamel to the dentin, which is the next and then the next layer in is the pulp, which is the nerve. Okay, the pulp is the center of the tooth. It goes all the way through the middle of the roots, and basically the pulp is where the nerve and the blood supply of the tooth is. Really, a tooth is its own organ. It has three tissues, which is the definition of an organ. It has to have three different tissues. So enamel, dentin, and pulp. The pulp, again, is blood supply and the nerve. So once that bacteria gets into the nerve, that's how you feel pain. So pain is really the last symptom at that point. Like once you feel pain, it's kind of too late, right? So don't wait till you have pain in anything, really. So that means that we could have caught the cavity when it was in the enamel, when it was in the dentin, but now it's already in the nerve. So it's too late. So we take the nerve out, clean out the pulp. So we take the blood supply, which is what gives life to the tooth, and the nerve out, but it's a dead tooth now because it has no blood supply, it has no nerve supply. It's just a placeholder. And what do dead things do? They attract bacteria, right? That's what they do by nature, right? Bacteria loves dead things. That's how they break things down. So you really have a dead tooth in your mouth. And also dead things cannot transmit energy. Okay, that's a given. Like once we're dead, like in order when we have a heart issue, right? Like when the heart gives out, what do? We give it an energy burst in order for it to start working again, right? The defibrillator, right? So we are energetic beings to begin with. So once there's no more life in that tooth, then it's dead. And so therefore teeth are connected, as we mentioned, you said the tooth organ meridian, teeth are connected energetically to other organs. There's a chart online if you guys want to look it up. It's called the tooth organ meridian chart. So like they call this the canine, they call it the eye tooth because it's actually energetically connected to the eyes. It's crazy. So back in the day, they call it that, but it is that there's a reason because it's energetically connected. It's energy highways that are connected. Organs are connected to teeth. So therefore, when something, so it's like a circuit, right? Like an electrical circuit. Once there's something that's dead in that circuit, it's blocked, it's interrupted. The energy cannot keep transmitting throughout this whole circuit. So therefore, a dead tooth can impact other organs that are in that circuit. And they don't teach you this in dental school, never. They, in fact, the opposite. They encourage root canals because, hey, we need to save teeth at any cost. I mean, really, at any cost, like to the cost of detriment of the body, I don't know. You know,
and that was my big takeaway from the phone. But you have said so much that kind of like, so it sounds like you started practicing traditional medicine, traditional dentistry, and then by virtue of a personal situation, you found your way to looking at dentistry in a more broad view, in a wider view, a holistic view. And then you took that path professionally, right? So that to me, and then you also said something a moment ago about our being energy, our bodies being energy. And so that leads me to the sort of foundation of my idea for this podcast, which is finding out how you define your philosophy in life. And then the next thing is, well, let me let you respond to that. Your philosophy.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think I probably evolve with that on a almost daily basis because I have three young children, and dealing with my husband's illness, and just like having a full-time job as a practice owner. I mean, gosh, there's so much, and especially women. I think it's a very also a very unique role. Women, moms, daughters, sisters. So, I feel like it is our responsibility in general, I think, to just kind of leave this world a better place, make this world a better place somehow. I feel like we are all connected, all human beings we're all connected. Just the other day I was talking with my kids, you do one nice thing for somebody, and it can encourage them to do something nice for somebody else, and we set off a domino effect of light in this world. And it might not, you do, and I tell them, you do nice things not to expect something back, but to do nice things to encourage other people to do that, to do a kindness, and then you might get it back someday when you need it. You never know. We're so up and down, so anything now, but in the future you never know. So I always tell them, build that bank, do things that are good, not don't only think of yourself, think of people and how you can help them. And I think, there is I do believe in one God, and there's a creator, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, again, there's, I do believe in the Ten Commandments, right? The basics. And I think that, the more we love and care for each other, the brighter this world can be. And I think in this day and age, there's a lot of division, and it's not necessary. And we can try to help each other. And again, every day I learn something new from my kids, or from how to deal with my husband, he's a chronic illness, and I'm being around somebody who's like about the same age, but not in the same health. It's different. Like, it gets to you, psychologically too.
Sure.
So so I just feel like, gosh, uh try to do good. Have patience is so important. Being patient, sympathy, empathy, and just trying to help others, I feel like, and educate myself as much as I can, so I can help other people with what, because I come in contact with many people throughout the day, even like many patients, and anything I can learn and I can help them with makes me feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing my job. So
and that is a perfect segue to my next question about purpose. So in addition to how you feel about life, which I love that, I love everything about what you just said, am I safe to assume that you feel like the life you're leading as a dentist, as a mother, as a wife, do you feel like that is the life that you were called to lead? I mean, a purpose-driven life.
Yeah, yes, I feel that way, but at the same time, I feel like there's still so much more I can do.
Okay.
I still feel like there's so much more I can impart upon my children, upon my again, my patients. I just feel like I need, like, I have this, like, I guess it's a learnaholic type thing. Somebody told me, like, you're like a learnaholic.
A learnaholic.
Yeah, I'm
I
like,
call it an eternal educator / student.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy. And I
Mm.
feel like the more I learn, the more I and it's not only facts that you can learn, but also like how do other people think and feel, and how do what is their it's life is so not black and white, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There's so much gray in the middle, but
Right.
you know,
Right.
you learn that when you're little, it seems like, oh, it's black and white, this is good, this is bad. But then, like, if you're in a situation as an adult and you don't know which, like, oh my gosh, there's so many gray areas, you might do something that seems bad to somebody, but that was your only choice at the time because of the situation you're in.
When you know better, you're capable of doing better. Not always necessarily will you, but
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes, yes. And it's really just, yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I also learned, like, how, gosh, as humans, we can be pretty weak at points, like the when like, I know sugar is bad, right? But if I have a piece of dark chocolate, I'm gonna
Right.
I'm gonna be like,
Or
okay,
look, a piece of dark chocolate cake. Either way.
I'm gonna be like, you know what, YOLO. I'll take,
Right.
but
I'll
then,
take one for the team right now.
yes, and so, like, we
Yeah.
know there's so many things we know are wrong or not good for us, but we'll still do them because we have this will, like, maybe a lack of will, maybe it's up and down. Sometimes we're like, yeah, I can do this. I'm gonna say no to this, but then other times, oh my gosh,
And for me, I call that the balance of human nature, which is
yes, well,
basically a light and dark.
exactly. And that's why they say God gave us free will,
Yes.
because there is, like, we're gonna have we have this thing in our the good inclination, the bad inclination, right? And you really have to fight, like, the bad inclination, you have to fight. It's much harder than to just give in and just, and yeah, it's very, but you learn about, like, gosh, we as the human condition, I call it the human condition, like, oh my God, we're not perfect as much as we want to be perfect.
Right.
Never.
That part. That part. Yes, exactly.
The goal is to keep getting better and stronger, but it's not always possible. So,
Yeah. When you know better, you're capable of doing better. But I also affirm every day releasing the unrealistic notion of perfection, because it's just,
it doesn't exist. Yeah.
It doesn't exist. So,
and I think it's a moving target. For what's perfect to you today, you might learn something new tomorrow, and it's, oh, that's not what I thought it was.
Not right. Yeah,
exactly. So it's a moving target. It doesn't exist in a way, but at the same time, like, does it prevent me from trying to improve myself? No, but it's still hard. It's still hard.
Yeah.
Like it's, oh my gosh. But you know, there's some people really good at it. Some people, you know, we need more, need a little more help.
Yeah,
So yeah.
help and time. Yeah, time
Time,
helps.
yes.
And so what you were saying just now in terms of the day to day, sometimes moment by moment efforts to get it right. And then going back to what you were saying before about the current state of the world and more
Yes.
expressly the United States being very
Yes.
divisive. And so I think some of that probably started with President Obama in terms of a lot of the things that had been brewing and seeping underground started to bubble up. But then I think the brashness and boldness of 45 and now 47 made it such that everybody was able to just basically be bold and brash. And that created a lot of separatism. And so there are a lot of people who are having a hard time embracing what is coming based on the decisions that have already been made, and namely that he has selected Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to head the Health and Human Services Department, although he has no medical experience and is an environmental attorney. What say you about that?
Okay, so can I back up a little and sort of give you my background? So
sure.
I'm an immigrant to America.
Yes.
Okay. I think you know that from
Yes.
here in 91. I was almost 10.
Okay.
Straight to Atlanta, Georgia, before anybody
Okay.
ever knew Atlanta, you know, because 96 put it on the map. But
Okay.
you know, and I have two perspectives. My perspective, I should say, is based on these two things: me as an immigrant and me as a practitioner, holistic practitioner. Okay. So as an immigrant, again, so coming to the United States, like a whole different world, right? I'm from the former USSR, where it was a communist, socialist, however you want to call it, country, was till 1991. Actually, when it broke up was when we were at the airport to come to America.
Whoa.
Literally that same day.
Okay.
So didn't even know what was gonna happen. So it's my brother, myself, and my parents. That's it, the four of us. It was crazy. So but you know, having lived life there and having lived life here, it's definitely you know, there's a reason why they call America the land of opportunity.
Okay.
It is true. You can there's so much here that is available, and there is freedoms to achieve religious freedom. There is freedoms to achieve, you know, we're like how do you say it? We, you know, they say through hard work, through you know, you can women here can, like, for instance, back there women didn't drive, women didn't really own businesses, women like, you could, but it was so rare. You were just like, here you have all that, like you can own a house, you can own land, you can drive a car, you can have a business, you can do, you know, yes, women fought for that, I understand. But luckily here, there are countries still now where, you know, women can't do anything that a man can, right? Like still to this day. So in a way, I think there's a lot here to be grateful for. And I know it's not perfect, far from perfect. You know, there's capitalism being looked at as greed and bad. There's, you know, socialism and communism being looked at as, you know, again, where I'm from, where there's really not much innovation, not much improvement, because there's no incentive to, right? Everybody gets the same. Everybody gets the same. Why should I work harder than Joe, who's getting the same house and the same apartment, and I can do nothing and get the same, you know? So in a way, capitalism does get people to innovate and move forward, and competition, right? Over there was no competition. You go to grocery store, you get one brand of everything, right? You know, there's not even a grocery store that holds everything. You go to dairy store, there's the butchery, and there's the market for vegetables, right? Here you go to one place, you can get everything, right? I mean, it's a very different way of like seeing life, and we're like, wow, all this stuff is like available to us. But the one problem that as I get older and as a practitioner and I see is that there is a lot of chronic illness in America. A lot. Like this is the country to be if you broke a rib, broken arm, whatever. Emergency medicine here is top notch. Like you need a surgery, definitely come to America. But if you need management of chronic or healing of a chronic disease, that's where we're very weak at, right?
Mhm.
Like there's no, you don't, here, there's no, you just take a pill to manage the symptoms, is really what it is.
Okay.
Nobody, there's no cure. Like there's no, you don't cure, we don't cure diseases here, because once you're cured, you're no longer a customer of the pharma, right?
Okay.
Once you no longer need that pill, they
Mhm.
want you to be on these pills to be a constant customer, right?
Mhm.
So in a way, this is like, this is Western medicine. Like this is what we call, you know, but sadly, so I have the some stats here that I just kind of
Okay.
wrote out.
Mhm.
We have we spend the most on healthcare out of all the countries
Mm.
and not developed, but we still have the sickest people. Like we have
Mm.
a lot of people on medication. I think over like, I don't know, I heard like 60 to 70% of people are on prescription medications here, right? I
Okay.
believe. So
Mhm.
it's a high percentage. And supposedly also starting in 1970, we have lost 5 years of longevity. Like our life
Okay.
expectancy has gone down
Yeah.
by 5 years, right?
Mhm.
We're
Mhm.
behind countries like Mongolia, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, like, and we are like the most developed country, right?
Right.
Like, you know,
Right. It's a
and so
contradiction. Yeah.
yeah, we
Mhm.
spend 2 to 3 more times in Europe on healthcare, but we have the worst outcomes. Like, why is this happening? What are we doing wrong? Like, what, you know?
Mm.
So, and again, I see this every day because I see patients who are ill, right? They're like,
Mhm.
they come in, of course, with mercury fillings in their mouth, right? Which
Mhm. Mhm.
I think Europe has started to ban them. Not here
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
Okay. Um, again, during COVID, we had the highest number of deaths in the world, but we only make up 4% of the population. Like, so it wasn't COVID that killed us. It was I think the average chronic disease that a COVID death had was like 3.8. So a person who died from COVID had comorbidities of like 3.8 chronic diseases. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
COVID just pushed them over the edge. It
Yes.
was the mixture of other stuff that weakened their immune system that they could not
Okay.
recover from COVID. Healthy
Mhm.
people really, for the most part, did not die from COVID, right? So it was
Mhm.
the obese, the autoimmune, the this and that. I mean, there was so much. There's a lot of details to this, but we had the highest death rate. I believe it was 16% of COVID deaths were Americans, and only when we make up only 4%, 4.2% of the world's population. So big
Okay.
disparity. Okay,
Mhm.
so and kids these days too are chronically ill. Again, as soon as the kid is born, they get like vaccines, all like from day one, right?
Mhm.
One vaccine and another, and like we have a very, very robust vaccination schedule, and we still
Mhm.
have kids, right? Like
Yeah.
Japan doesn't do a lot of the vaccines that we do, or at least not so quickly and not so put together, and they have a much lower um sickness rate and much lower, I mean, and have a much higher life expectancy. Japan, I believe, is the top.
Right.
Japan,
Like
Hong Kong, those
in the
countries.
90s, I
Um,
think. Yeah.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
like at 70, 75, 78, something like that. Women
Mm.
and so, so the thing is, I think that there's a big lack of awareness in the general population
Mhm.
of what's happening. Why
Mhm.
are people just do what their doctors tell them to do, right?
Okay.
We're, we're,
Right.
we're taught here, the
Mhm.
doctor he's the most knowing, just do what your doctor tells you.
Mhm.
But the
Not
doctor,
always.
not
Yeah.
always, but
Not
where did
always
he
the
get
best
trained? Yeah,
yeah.
he got
Mhm.
trained in a
Yeah.
university that is
Mhm.
sponsored by pharmaceutical companies,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That's a fact. You
Yeah.
can look that up. That's a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
Um, Again, there's like five pharmaceutical lobbyists for every member of Congress. It's craziness.
Crazy.
Like
Yeah.
we don't, it's like the pharmaceutical, again, listen, so here's another preface. I think there is a time and place for medication. I'm not saying never take a pill. No,
Right. Right.
if your blood pressure is 200 over 120, take a freaking
Mhm.
pill. Yes.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
should you be on
Mhm.
that your entire life? Is that
Right.
like no, you should, that's the goal, is
Find
just
another way to get your
yes,
pressure
get
under
you
control.
get
Yeah.
yeah, do
Mhm.
use the means
Mhm.
that you have right now, not to
Mhm.
die.
Mhm. Mhm.
Take an antibiotic if you need, absolutely. But at
Mhm.
the same time,
Mhm.
the goal is to strengthen the immune system. The goal is
Mhm.
to reduce the toxins you're taking in, the
Mhm.
seed oils from, what the stuff is fried in the restaurant. You ask them, what do you fry your French fries in? Canola oil or some other oil. That's basically like I think they call it an antifreeze or some oil that's like
Yeah.
none of the seed
Yeah.
oils are healthy, but that's
Yeah.
all the restaurants are cooking with, right? So it's like hard to even go out to eat now because you can't get anything fried because seed oils, again, fluoride in the water, not
Yeah.
necessary. Okay, it's not necessary. Like other countries don't fluoridate their water, they don't have a problem with cavities. It's not again, it's not what is lacking. It's more like in your body, everything is gut health related, right? Even the teeth, the cavities. It's not. People are like, well, if you floss, you won't get cavities. That's not true. I mean, I don't. As a practitioner, again, I ask patients all the time, especially ones without cavities. Some of them, I'm like, hey, do you floss? Maybe once a week. Oh, but you don't have any cavities. How is that possible? Right? I ask patients, when was the last time you saw a dentist? Just recently, I had a few. They're like, oh, it's been 5, 10 years. Not a cavity. Do you floss? No, not a cavity. They brush twice a day. So you have to start digging deeper. I'm like, it's not
Yeah.
just floss. It's really not. It's sugar. It's acidity. It's some of it is genetic, not gonna lie. There is gut health. Are you absorbing all the minerals you're taking in? Are you absorbing all the food you might be getting all the best food and eating it, but then it comes out the other end because your body's not assimilating it. Why? So doctors are not the regular Western doctors. They're not, and I've actually asked one of them. I was like, what do you like? How do you treat disease? Well, I give a prescription. Okay. Why? Well, because that's what people come to me for. They want the pill. Why do people want a pill? Of course, it's an easy way out. I love it. I don't have to change my lifestyle and just take a pill once or twice a day and I'm good. And they're like, yeah, well, they also see it on TV. They see a commercial or medication on TV and they come to me for that. Why should we be able to dictate like what medication? Why should they be able to advertise to us? Right? Like, why should that be a thing? Like, right now,
it's crazy. Those
pharmaceutical
medication
commercials
are
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
They're insane. It's like, well, with all those side effects, I'm better
Yes.
off with the condition, please. Thank you.
That's what it's so crazy.
Crazy.
So
Yeah.
so with all this said, like we're not taught to like, hey, get out and like walk 30 minutes a day. The doctor doesn't like, okay, they say it, but do patients do it? No. So like the goal, it's just this whole like take a pill and get rid of the disease mentality, which is not true. It doesn't, you just you're masking a symptom.
Masking.
You're managing a symptom. You're not treating the root cause. Yeah. So that's my whole thing is segueing into RFK Jr. I think that this mentality has to change. We have to, and he understands. All of these stats I read was from I just told you, but from what he was saying. He understands that there's a problem, and that is it going to take 4 years to no? 4 years is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just decades to reverse, but it has to start somewhere, and I think it has to start with um informing the people. Like it's gonna start from the bottom up because at the top they don't want you healthy because you're not gonna be their lifelong customer, right? Right? It's all, follow the money is like where it's
Follow the money always.
follow the money is where it's at. If you're healthy and you're not dependent on their medication, they go out of business. Okay, so I think that kind of like, oh, I could just go get a pill attitude should change. You know, it's that we should, again, more emphasis on the body healing itself if it has the right conditions. Yes, medication is good in clutch situations, but can we rely on our own body to heal if we take out the barriers to healing? It's like the media demonizes the sunlight. Oh my God, sun can cause cancer. But is that really like, no, we need sunlight. Yeah, they're saying, you should get 30 minutes to an hour of sunlight per day, really, without sunscreen, because we need that. The skin is the largest organ and it absorbs the sunlight, the UV light, and converts it into vitamin D and stuff like that, which is a very important precursor to so many of the processes that go on in our body for immune system to work properly. So again, I think it's like, I feel like we need a change in narrative.
Yes.
And I think that it's not being emphasized enough, has not been, because again, pharmaceutical companies are such a huge force to reckon with. And Also in, I believe, the Act of 1986 or 84, don't quote me on that, it took all, so the liability of vaccination, the vaccine companies, right,
Okay.
that were making vaccines, they took the liability off of these companies. So
Mm.
you cannot, if something goes wrong after you get a vaccine, you cannot sue the company. You
Mm.
can, you have to go through the government. There's like a whole court. It's called the NVIC court, I believe. National Vaccine Injury Court, look it up. They pay out like billions of dollars a year in vaccine injuries. But
Mm.
the companies
But the
are immune.
pharmaceuticals
Yeah,
don't
but
have
immune,
any
exactly.
liability in it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
how are you gonna, what is incentive for you to keep your product safe, right?
Yeah.
Like we're taught to think, oh, vaccines eradicated disease. It may have, there's even no proof of that, by the way. If you look
Yeah.
at the graphs, things started, the infectious diseases started to decrease before the vaccines were made because of things like better sanitation, right?
Mm.
Indoor plumbing, garbage is being, properly disposed of. But the thing is, we've eradicated infectious disease now at the cost of introducing chronic disease, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's a problem. And there's going to be debate on vaccines cause autism. Do they not do they cause these? Maybe, maybe not. Everybody's
Yeah.
different. That's not the
Yeah.
point. The point is, again, you have to put in something into your body in order to prevent something. Like if even that, like how do we know how it's, again, the when the companies are not being held liable for their product, and they've never, did you know that they've never studied vaccines being given in like multiple doses? Because like the MMR, they've never studied it. What is the why can't we just do measles separately, mumps separately, rubella? They put it all into one, but that has never been studied, like them being given together as opposed to
Mm.
individually. That has not been
Mm.
studied. It's just an accepted thing. Here, we'll just give
Mm.
MMR at 1 year old.
Mm.
That was actually back in the day when a gastroenterologist who was like, hey, we need to study this because something's happening with these kids at 1 year old after they get
Mm.
these MMR vaccines.
Mm.
So, and he was blacklisted, of course. Oh my God, he's
Mm.
up against pharma, you know?
Mm.
So, I mean, again, am I saying that, oh my God, Western medicine's so bad? No. What I'm saying is there's a time and a place, but we seem to be going away from what can our bodies do when we give them the right environment, right? How can you poke yourself, you prick yourself with a needle, what happens if your body, the blood coagulates on its own, right?
Mm.
You don't have to
Mm.
do anything, it happens,
It
right?
just
Because
does
the
it.
body
Mm.
wants to heal.
Mm.
So case in point, when I see patients, they have mouths full of mercury fillings, right?
Mm.
We remove them safely. We put them on a protocol before, during, after. Remove them safely, meaning we don't just drill them out. There's a whole thing that we do. We cover them up. We give them, again, supplements before, supplements after. We have them work with a naturopath or a functional medicine doctor to help them detox. But we've taken out root canal teeth. I mean, and the body just heals. Like there's
Mm.
several patients, I have several, I mean, more than several, that will tell you after this has been removed, my body is now functioning like it should. Like they
Mm.
feel like some of their brain fog has disappeared.
Mm.
The one lady had chronic fatigue syndrome. She's like, for 20 years, I would spend at least 1 week in bed every month because she just
Okay.
couldn't get, like, and she had a root canal tooth in the front that no dentist would take out because on the x-ray it looked normal.
Mm.
So we took it out and she's back to life again.
Yeah.
She's like, and I spent years trying to advocate for myself and nobody believed me. So of course, we tried.
That's exactly the documentary filmmakers. That was his
Yes,
story.
but
Yeah.
and this is an actual story in my office. But what do?
Mm.
We didn't put anything in. We took something out.
Right.
We
Yeah.
took some, it's like a splinter. You cannot heal if the splinter's still in,
In
right?
there.
You
Yeah.
gotta take the
Yeah.
splinter out. And the
Mm.
body's like, hi, I can breathe again.
Mm.
Can do what it needs
Mm.
to do. Like
Mm.
I can do what I'm designed to do, which is heal. Take the next breath, get more
Mm.
oxygen, do what, you know. So
Mm.
in a way, I think changing the narrative a little bit to we don't have to be so dependent on medicine and don't get to the point where you need medicine, right? Like
Yeah.
kids should be, hey, we should get out. There should be gym class in
Mm.
starting from elementary school all the time. There should be, you know, um, proper foods like the school lunch program. Like
Mm.
they tried to pass pizza as a vegetable because of the tomato sauce. And like,
Mm.
I mean, like you can't, yes, okay, but like
Mm.
we should feed the kids healthy stuff. Like, and then all the food dyes in the candy. Like red 40 or whatever is like linked to hyperactivity and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like why, if we start with the kids, then we can grow into healthier adults. But if the
Right.
kids are messed up, they're gonna be messed up adults too, you know,
Right.
not
Right.
messed up, you know what I mean? Ill,
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
So obesity, we have over 50% of obese kids. Like, why should kids be obese? You should be running around
Right.
all day. But
Right.
we're
You
sitting with,
should.
yeah, we're sitting with video games and you know, all this again, all this unhealthy food with the McDonald's and the Chick-fil-A and okay,
Yeah.
once in a while, sure, but that should
Right.
not be an everyday diet. Like,
Right.
so, I mean, I think that just growing awareness of this type of stuff, again, that is my hope that that's what's going to happen. And again, because RFK Jr. is aware of these things, I think just to somehow bring to light, for the people, and I think now with the internet maybe, and with COVID, maybe some people did wake up to like, hey, what's going on? Like when maybe the vaccines were starting to be meant, like you have to get a COVID shot, like
Right.
yeah, that's another
Right.
thing that I think
Right.
I had several friends who were like that opened their eyes. They're like, what? Like, I don't
Right.
want a mental vaccine.
Right.
I don't, why should I, you know, and then they they would deny you your job, like because of that, or travel or
Yeah.
whatever. It was crazy for a while, but
Mhm.
luckily it didn't stick, thank goodness. But in other countries it did. You know, that's why in a way I think I'm like, oh my gosh, we're lucky we're here, that we didn't have to do it. Some of us got away without doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not without consequence for some people, because I have several patients who lost their jobs with the airlines,
Right.
other
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So, you know, in a way we still have some choice here, which is nice. But yeah, so I mean, I think as long as the people, the change is going to start from the bottom up, from the
Mm-hmm.
people
That's
knowing,
all change. Yeah.
yeah, we vote with our dollar. You know, if we don't want to spend so much on the processed foods or whatever, we'll spend more on this, on the healthier food. It's going to change the way that, you know, things are done. Or again, awareness, like people, even a lot of dentists still think fluoride is in the water is great. Like, why? You know, if you really do your research, there's PubMed articles on how it reduces IQ in children. It calcifies your pineal gland, which is the gland that makes your decisions, your emotions, all. It gets crazy. Like we don't need an excess of it. It already comes naturally in a lot of the foods. We don't need it in our
Mm-hmm.
water. We don't.
And it's interesting that you would say that, because that is actually one of the arguments that I have to the RFK appointment. The idea that you just said about because I did a segment on that explaining how the pineal gland is right in the part of the brain that's directly behind the third eye,
Yeah.
the midpoint between the brows. And so basically my thinking is when I hear you say that, I'm like, but then if people have their third eye, their insight vision heightened,
Mm-hmm.
then that's really going to cause things to be out of control, because there's a
Yes.
great
Oh,
deal of mind control.
huge.
And if people all of a sudden are able to see,
Yes.
if people are able to lead the flock of sheeple, you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Oh,
They're able
sweet.
to lead the flock, and
Yes.
I don't see that boding very well in terms
No.
of, you know, long
Right.
term, in terms of the agenda, the American system.
Yes. Yes. So, and that's the thing is it's the only way, but it has to be a mass exodus, right? What are they going to do if or the majority of the people start waking up? What are they going to do?
Mm.
How can they, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, okay, one or two people here and there, whatever, few doctors, few whatever. Yes. But if more people start, we need like, I don't know, 10 to 20% to start. What are they going to do with 10 to 20% of 330 million? What are they going to put us all in jail? I mean, you know what I mean? Like how
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that you've got to have a collective. There's got to be a collective to
Yeah.
start like questioning and to start standing up for it. But yeah, it's extremely uncomfortable because you're looked at as psycho cook, whatever, like,
Yeah.
oh, you're tin
Yeah.
hat, whatever.
Yeah.
But hey, that's where I live. I don't mind that. Like this is
Yeah.
using holistic
Yeah.
dentistry.
Yeah,
Other
but see,
dentists
you
I
know
have.
what? And actually, for me, the point that I was making, and I think that goes probably to our differences in terms of our profile, but as a descendant of the American slavery
Mhm.
system, I have a very different view of what America is. You know
Sure.
what I mean? And so, like, my thought is, um, the actual awakening, the
Yes.
spiritual awakening of
Yes.
people is the antithesis, it's the very opposite of what America has been driven on, what it has been founded and, you know, built on in
Yes.
terms of control
Mm.
of the masses. And so for me, that's the thing that makes me say, no, they won't do it. You know, even if he persists that that is the way to go,
Going to be a lot of roadblocks.
Yes, he will. Yes.
Oh
exactly.
no, I'm 100% with you. Yes,
Yeah.
but if it's never challenged at any point, then it's going to continue. You know, so there's got to be. I totally hear you, and but look at us, you and I awake, right? In a way, yes.
Right.
So
right.
you and I, my population of my patients, I have what, I don't know, but maybe 3,000. I don't know, active something. I don't know, several thousand, and their families. They're awake. They're but right now it's just very like hush hush, oh my gosh, like it's so. But I think since COVID, again, there has been a bigger the eyes have been opened of some people. I don't know if it's a
No,
critical
I
mass
understand what
yet.
you mean.
Yes. So, and I agree with you that there's going to be a lot of barriers, a lot. That's why 4 years is not even going to be a drop in the bucket. But the only way to push anything through is to get people behind you, like the people who vote, the people who exchange their money for services, for food, for whatever. Like that's gonna be the only way. But if people don't know right now, I feel like a lot of people, or at least up until COVID or recently, they just didn't know. Like, and they're like, oh, just do whatever your doctor tells you. But even doctors were afraid to speak out when they saw that it wasn't really COVID as much. It was all the other,
everything,
killing people. The ventilator. There were many doctors who knew ventilators were not the answer. But what are you gonna do? That's the right now, that's the way to treat people as ventilators. Like ventilators, you should have more supplement. It should have been supplemental oxygen, not all the way down to the lungs, the ventilator way. So like but if you speak out, you're a heretic, you're this, whatever. Yes, but I think again now with maybe the internet having more and actually at the time I think Facebook and even Twitter was like shutting down any naysayers, right? So thankfully again with Twitter changing ownership, it is more of an open platform now, and you can have both sides of the. That's another thing, was the censorship. The censorship during COVID was extreme, and it was not necessary. Like anybody who was speaking out was shut down. Like, that's right. There should be more than one way to look at something, and people should be able to speak on it. But they were shut down. Like there was even doctors trying to stand in front of they're called the I forgot what their name is, but there was a whole group of frontline doctors. I don't know if you know them. They were standing in front of the Capitol building trying to say, hey, there's another solution. They were not given, they were shut down. They were not given any airtime. And it was like people have to seek out the information these days. Like you can't go to the mainstream.
And for me, Dr. Aaron, that just confirms what I was saying. Yeah, I mean, that's the First Amendment. And especially, I have my feelings about the incoming president, the returning incoming president, and I just don't see it being, I don't see it being like this whole bromance that he has with Elon Musk. In a minute, that's going to be like a cataclysmic breakup because of the same.
Totally. It's definitely a possibility. I don't know what I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. I totally, but my only thing was, and again, speaking from the health perspective, is there needs to be a change in that aspect. And I think it's hard. I don't, that's the thing too, though. Americans are taught in a way, like I'm from Russia, kind of, we were taught in a way to be like more skeptical of the government. Here, it's like, oh, the government's your friend. Not really. Like you have to, they're also a business trying to, make money. So in a way, you have to think like, hey, just because the government said that, or just because the news said that, just because that doesn't mean it's true. You have to go beyond what you're given, beyond what you're fed. That's why, like, I don't even let my kids watch TV, like because I'm afraid of the commercials, number one. Like the pharmaceutical, oh mom, but I can get this if I get, I don't. And then the fast food commercials, and I don't even know what's like. I don't know any modern singers. Like we're literally like, I showed them stuff from the 80s and 90s that I grew up on, right? Like Full House, like things that were more family friendly. So, they're very impressionable now, and it's like, oh, and the thing is, and I even teach them, I'm like, yeah, you like, yes, respect authority in a way, like your parents, your teachers, your whatever, but everything else, you almost have to question it. You don't have to be like a naysayer to everything, but just, hey, do your research before you form an opinion, right? So, and again, my hope is just that the light is gonna get shown on the the health issue in America, which is, it's not so, like, again, we're chronically ill, and it's not a good thing.
Yeah, I
And
appreciated what you said about going from infectious disease to chronic disease.
oh yeah,
one is no better than the other.
yeah.
Yeah.
How do you, you know,
Yeah.
like,
So,
that's not, you know, luckily now we have antibiotics, antifungals, all these things to treat the infectious diseases. But what do we have to treat the chronic disease? Nothing.
right. Right.
Nothing.
That,
You
yeah,
know,
I
it's just
understand that. I
masking
appreciate
symptoms.
it. Yeah.
So I think that hopefully the American public will start being a little more discerning in the information that they, you
Yeah.
know, that they take
Mhm.
in.
Mhm.
Dig a little bit deeper, look at sources that are not just freely available, because you got to go,
Mhm.
you know, they don't want you to, it's almost like it's hidden in plain sight, but you have to take that
Right.
extra step to
Right.
look a little deeper.
Right.
Analyze the graphs of the vaccine schedule and the decline of infectious disease. It does not exactly correlate. So again,
Right.
you got to dig deeper. You got to zoom in, zoom out, whatever you need to do. But that's my only hope, is that, like, there's going to be at least if it catches the attention of one or two more people, and they tell their friends and they tell their friends, and it's, yeah. But I hear you in your hesitation that it's going to make a change, but I don't think it's going to be an immediate change by any means.
Right. Right.
But the goal is just,
Not
if the
realistic.
people are
Yeah.
informed, maybe they can make better help advocate for themselves, at least, right? Like, hey, I don't want to be on metformin my whole life, or hey, I don't want to be on this medication my whole life, because you can't get something for nothing, right? You can't get a pill to improve your blood pressure but not affect something else, or your blood
Right.
sugar
One
not
problem
negative.
chasing another.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't get something
Exactly.
for nothing in any,
Right.
there's
Yeah.
no such thing.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
take the pill, but there's gonna be something else that'll suffer.
Right. Right.
So,
I got
you
it.
know, like, I'm not saying don't listen to your doctor. I'm a
Yeah.
dentist. I want you to listen to
Mhm.
me, but at the same
Mhm.
time, be more discerning in information, because unless
Yeah.
people have an awakening, the government will keep their mind control going.
Yeah.
That's their, you know,
Yeah.
it's their
Mhm.
only way, is like, hey, to brainwash through, again, through the TV, through the
Mhm.
radio, through whatever, like the sources that are easy, that they know people are always on.
Yeah.
And that's their way. But hey, we have
Mhm.
to be like, hey, you know what? What is the agenda behind what they're trying to do?
Right.
And do
Yeah.
I want to fall for that? You know?
Got it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I got it. I
and
got it.
and
And it
and
makes
that's,
sense. Yeah.
and I agree that there's gonna be, it's not I totally hear you in your skepticism, and I have to leave room for that, absolutely, because that you never know. I know that the only thing we can trust is the intent. Like, right now we can trust the intention. Okay, he wants to change something. That's great.
Okay.
And I think we as people, I think we deserve to live a life where we don't have to be dependent on a pill, right?
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
can we can do things like, hey, go out and walk for 30 minutes a day, get some
Yeah.
sunshine.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
eat foods that are like,
And even if the sun is not shining, I have
yeah,
found, like, when I get up and I do my morning walks, at
you're
least
getting
there's
fresh air.
natural light. Huh?
Yeah, fresh air.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fresh air,
Exactly.
natural
Yeah.
light. You got to get up, you got to move. We have to move. We're so
Yeah.
sedentary.
Yeah.
Move, consume content that's positive.
Yeah.
Do a meditation or two.
Right.
Um, thank
Right.
a spouse, thank a coworker,
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
gratitude. We're taught, oh, your genes are what they are. You have no power against them. False. That is
Yeah.
false. Every day, your environment can change the expression of your genes. Every
Right.
day.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, you can turn good things on and bad things off through,
Mhm.
again, practices of gratitude,
Yeah.
through saying, you see something about a coworker or a friend or whatever you like, say something nice. Do
Mhm.
something, like, do
Kindness.
something to
Yeah.
help out.
Kindness, gratitude,
Kindness,
compassion, all of that.
all the things. Like, it's crazy. They say uh genetics loads the gun and environment triggers it, right?
I
Yeah.
love that.
You
Yeah.
don't have
Okay.
to be, it's not a life sentence that your parents had diabetes, now you're gonna have it. No, not necessarily. But that
Okay.
means you do have a bit of a harder uphill battle to fight, but it doesn't mean you can't do it, you know?
Right.
Um,
Right.
and just maintaining a relationship. Loneliness is a very bad thing. Like, have somebody, you have a friend, have
Mhm.
somebody, pen pal, I don't know, whatever. Like,
Mhm.
be in the commute, go to church, synagogue, whatever, get out, do some, go volunteer at a place. I don't know, something. So anything that kind of gets your heart pumping and being, expressing something positive. I mean, it can make a big difference in your health. Very, very big. So, and again, taking out the splinters, taking out the barriers to healing,
Yeah.
again, in my case, it's taking out mercury, root canals, periodontal disease, now again, medicine is very specialized. There's a kidney specialist, there's a heart specialist, but why does the heart not function well? Because there's something else going on. So like it's everything is connected. The psychosocial is important too, just as much as the physical. One impacts the other. If you like you come into a room and you hear a song that means something to you, your body, you feel good. Like
Yes,
it's an energy that changes you, right? The memories come back, you
Right.
feel good, like,
Right.
but it's not physical. You can't see it, but it's energy.
Right.
So, and energy is a real thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, my goal is just for, like, again, people to realize, like, hey, we're all connected. Hey, we can all help each other. Hey, we can help our bodies heal. And, you know, just shine the light on the fact that you know, it's we are responsible for our own, like, health in a way, and
Our
also
own, our own well-being, our own
Yes.
wellness. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yeah.
And those around, not responsible for those around us, but inclined to
Yes.
also help, you know,
To at least
support
care.
their
Yes.
well-being.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and with that, I'm going to just go back to what you just said about thanking people around you and showing gratitude. And I'm so grateful to you for taking the time and for sharing such insight. I mean, I learned a lot, and I hope that everybody who sees this will take away something and help them to move a little bit closer to their divine call. Their purpose. Yeah, I really hope so. Or I affirm that. I affirm that that's what this will be. I affirm that that's what this will be, and I release it. I release it to the source to be done.
Amen.
And to you, Dr. Zina Aaron, I say namaste, which means the light within me honors every bit of light within you. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, LeAnn, for having me. It was, like I said, it was serendipitous at the office, and now I'm so glad that we did this. And you know, I appreciate everything you're trying to do. It's huge, and that's how actually this is how knowledge is going to get spread, is through things that you're doing. So that's awesome. So you're part of that light. Keep shining. Keep shining it.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Take care.
Okay, that's going to do it for now, but please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell for what's coming. Thanks so much for taking the time, and I affirm that, be it by divine appointment, you will the next time as well. And I release that to the source to be done. As usual, I'll close with namaste, again, meaning the light within me honors the light within you. So until next time, be good, take good care, and namaste, good people.